The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Hey, it's the McGee Uncensored Podcast with your host McGee. I am healing from a nasty foot sprain I suffered recently. And when I have a sprain, I can get the worst sprains ever. Due to my condition, I'm prone to them. And it seems that every ligament and muscle just wants to puff up and say, you're not going anywhere for a couple of days, maybe 2 weeks even. So that's what's been going on. It kind of detracted me from getting a few episodes recorded and put out there for the 5-6 listeners that I've, drawn in, that I've generated. So I'm just gonna get to the topic and the story of this podcast. It's going back to about 1994, late fall time, and one of the biggest farces ever was when I tried out for middle school basketball in 7th grade. It still amazes me what sticks out in my mind, and I just remember those tryouts, if you want to call them that. I think it was just 2 weeks of just glorified drills that made no sense. I think even as I was trying out, I don't remember the tryouts because I don't even know what we were doing, what we were trying to accomplish. I don't know what the bigger joke was, the tryouts or some of the guys who ended up making the team. I clearly remember some of the drills and going to myself, what does this have to do with basketball? I really think the coach at the time was finding 2 weeks to drag this out in a ridiculous manner. I think on day one, he saw who came to tryouts, knew a majority of the roster already. But I don't know why we ended up going out for 2 weeks. It was a sham. It was a farce. Plain and simple, in my opinion. When a guy like Brian May makes the basketball team, and I know I'm dropping names that many people may not know who I'm talking about. If you know this guy, he had no athletic ability whatsoever. And he makes a team over Julian Mills. Good, way better basketball player. He makes a team over me. And I know I was way better than him. I know that for a fact. When you have that, and I have to go back and try to find a photo in a yearbook if that team was even team photo was even taken, to remember exactly who all made that team that were a bunch of scrubs. And some of the reasons why were given, and I don't really believe too many of them, was because of eligibility, age-wise, that some of these guys could go and play in the midget basketball league that they have here in town. I think they still have here in town, I don't know. But at the time, that's where a lot of us cut our teeth, playing together. So that was one reason, and I guess they were forced to be on the team. Because I remember size-wise, I think it was somewhat of a big number. Only 3 7th graders made it, and they all played for the coach, who was Damon Hooks, in Little League. So I don't really find that a coincidence at all. and I don't find the three seventh graders that made it to be very good. Some of them are better at other sports, like Bomba was better at baseball than basketball. And, you know. The interesting thing was this summer I played in the summer league that Hooks had formed. It was, for people like around my age at the time, whatever. And I was originally drafted by a team that was going to be coached by Brett Kearns, who's going to be a senior that year. And he was a decent football player, basketball player. But Hooks wanted to have a team of his own, and I was one of the players that he had picked off a team to start. And the team I was on, we ended up winning the championship. Whatever, I guess you could say championship. We won the league. It was a pretty decent team that we had put together, and I'm trying to remember who was all on that team, but can't remember everything. I'd like to, but I just can't. So, when tryouts came, I at least thought he had a familiarity of my playing style and his hustle, work ethic, whatnot. And I think that was all for nothing. I think most of us wanted to be evaluated fairly, and we weren't. I remember clearly the last day of tryouts, and the majority of tryouts were in the junior high gym, which was this very small gym. And only those who went to the old Menneson High School would know what I'm talking about. And on the last day, Hooks had a list made, which he, like I said, probably made it the very first day of tryouts. Goes, puts it on the door, so as we go to check to see if our names are on there, which mine wasn't. A lot of our names that should have been on there weren't. Still sticks out to me visually how dejected a buddy of mine, Julian Mills, was. You could tell he was pissed, and I told him, I say, hey, man, let's play Little League and we'll come back next year and make the team, which ended up happening. The following year we made the team. A bunch of us that should have made the team the previous year. Chalk it up to better coaching staff. There's a new coaching staff in there, Jason Minetti, Nick Mahalko. I played with them for Libby's Dairy Bar in a midget league, so not saying that's why I got picked, but those who deserve to be on the team ended up on the team. Even to this day, I don't like participating in a farce, I guess you could say. And I can't say that I have since those tryouts, because maybe since then I've been able to sniff out what would end up being a complete waste of my time and not even bother. I don't even know how that team did that year. I don't even think that roster stayed intact. I didn't go to any games. They had an assembly game one year. Well, not one year, but we also did when I played in 8th grade. We had an assembly game, middle school. Get out and watch us play. It was a legit game. I forget who it was against, but I remember in 7th grade thinking, like, do I really want to go to this? I'm hoping they lose. And I think they lost. I think, and I was happy, and I didn't care. It was a joke. I don't think most of us who tried out really wanted to go and watch at a game anyway. Screw supporting, your school, your team. Forget that. When you get dicked over like we did, ones that didn't make the team, why do you want to be a part of anything? You don't. I guess in a way it worked out for the best. Like I said, the following year, better coach, better coaching staff. We were a year older, the majority of us that didn't make the team. We got better. And I think we only lost 2 games that year, maybe 3. We had a pretty decent team. I've been fortunate enough to have decent coaches. Ninth grade, I had a really good coach, Jim Stapoli. I don't know if I would have been able to play for the coach that was there prior to him, just because I remember, quick story. In middle school, we scrimmaged the ninth graders, and we had a couple bullies on our team. I remember that. And they're probably still bullies in life today. They're probably still bullies. Um, and I don't know. I don't know if we were trying to do some kind of defensive assignment, and I messed up, and then the coach of the ninth grade team just lost his shit, I guess you could say. And I was like, wisely, my coach took me out. I'm thinking, why the hell are you screaming at me, dude? I don't respond well to that. Not that you don't have to coddle me, but there's a way that you can address me without being a complete prick. Because when people scream, all I hear is noise. You're not getting your point across. And I was thinking to myself, well, if he's going to be the coach next year, I'm not going to play. I just don't need it. I mean, I've had some bad coaching in my sports career. Not a lot. I think overall, through all the sports I play, I have some pretty decent coaching. But there's one or two instances, complete shit coaches, but whatever. So yeah, that was all those years ago, man. I still remember that. And after the next year, Hooks went back and coached Little League, and I hadn't seen him for many years until I went to a Pirate game a few years ago. I couldn't care less about the Pirates. Put that out there. And see this guy pushing this big old trash bin, and ends up being Hooks, and he's I guess he's working down in PNC Park, and I'm not gonna make fun of anybody, and he's working, and I'm sure he's in the union and making okay pay. But just when you look and say, well, that's not so much karma. Just, where's your coaching career going? And I may end up going on a big rant on a podcast about the history of the sports in this town. I kind of wish it wasn't as prominent, so that the expectations weren't set as high. Anyway, until next time,